Many people feel that they are right all the time. But I have news for you. No one is right all the time. Sometimes they are wrong. I come across a number of people, and before I can get my words out my mouth, they say, I know, I know, I know. They haven't let me complete my thought. How do they know? Well, many people feel uncomfortable not knowing. But it's not a crime not to know, because before you know, you don't know. When a baby is born into this world, the baby don't know anything. His life of discovering begins from the time he's an infant. And as he go along, he began to gather information. God, in all his wisdom, gave us a way to learn. He gave us eyes that we can see. Many people don't use their eyes properly because they're not watching everything and they're not looking as they go. There have been cases where individuals have been walking down the street, never looking down, never looking up. They basically is looking straight ahead as they go. They might be walking over money. They might be walking underneath a bomb because they're not looking up to see what is falling. The eyes is something that's very precious, because with sight we can see. But the secret is to use the sight properly. Really look. Sometimes you can see things that can benefit your life, like some individuals might look sad. We don't notice that sad look, and consequently, we don't get something that's very, very important to us. Somebody needs comfort, but you never see it because you're not looking. When you use your eyes properly, you can see an awful lot. So I would suggest to you, start noticing things. Even a bird flying in the sky can bring you satisfaction because a bird is very beautiful. Look at everything and remember what you see. Another thing that causes us to get knowledge is ears. We have ears where we can hear things, and we should try to really listen to everything we possibly can. Therefore, if you're in a conversation, before you tell someone that you know what they're talking about, why don't you listen and try to understand? If you listen, you begin to generate your education, your learning. But many times we can't learn because we won't listen. There's a lot of arguments that people have because both individuals want to prove that they know everything, and they won't listen. They won't hear a thing because they're trying to voice their opinion, because they want to be right. But you're not right all the time. Sometimes you might be wrong, but you won't listen. You don't use that particular gift of hearing properly. There's so many things that we can avoid if we realize that we don't know everything. But we have a desire to know as much as we possibly can. And in order to do that, you got to utilize the gift of sight, the gift of hearing. Look at everything as you possibly can and ask for an understanding. And listen. I mean, really listen to what you hear. So if you put together the sight and the sound, you begin to know. But understand, even though you see and you hear, you might not have it right. So learn how to really study what you hear and see. Be slow to speak and to give your opinion. Gather the opinions of others. Take those opinions and go study it. When I was a youngster, I used to watch the Cowboys and Indians. They call them Indians. Native Americans, I call them. But the Native Americans took pride in being slow to speak. They listened very carefully at everything you had to say. They watch your expressions as you said the words, and later on, they begin to think about what you said and how you said it. And after giving both great consideration, they began to come to a conclusion as to what you meant. And then, and only then, they would consider having it right. You know, if we took time to follow that process, there'd be less fighting, or less bickering, because we'll be doing the right thing. It's not a shame not to know, because nobody knows until they first learn. So, why are you embarrassed? What you should be embarrassed about is making claims of knowledge. without knowing. The only one should be ashamed is a person doing and saying things that don't make sense. Wisdom is something we should strive for. Wisdom is doing things the proper way at the proper time. So I guarantee you that no individual know everything all the time. We are not going to have complete knowledge of all things all the time. So, I use the expression that I used when I was just a youngster, and that was, hey, take a chill pill. Just cool down. And if you do that, you have less arguments, less disturbance in your home, give you greater happiness, and consequently, greater peace. Think about the things that I am saying, and it will improve your life. And you'll find that you have greater days, you have happier days, and believe me when I tell you that the best is yet to come.